Hello everybody, hope you're all having a nice day. Today we're going to be talking about why modern gaming is quote-unquote trash. And the reason I've been kind of thinking more about this topic kind of lately is because I haven't been enjoying video games as much as I used to. For the most part, I just watch YouTube and I just ignore my PlayStation. I don't touch it, I don't look at it. Unless my friends are online and they want to play with me, I just don't care. And I guess we could talk about it with GB, which, by the way, he is also here.
Hello.
Yeah, he's here. He's going to be co-hosting with me this time. Usually I do my videos alone, but I thought, why not? It would be nice to have a second opinion on the matter.
Well, opinion that's pretty much the same as your opinion.
I guess.
Especially when it comes to this subject.
But, yeah, it's just I haven't been enjoying video games as much as I used to. Like, for the most part, if like none of my friends are online, I will be on YouTube or I'll be doing something else. Like I'll be on my phone, maybe playing, I don't know, Clash of Clans or something. But it's like, 2012 game. It's been updated, but it's like an older game. And I've been playing other things like Clash Royale or going back to the original Xbox games like Burnout Free. And I just haven't been enjoying games though. I go back to the old games because just the new ones are just boring. Either boring or incomplete or broken. So, yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for my introduction. We're going to talk about what you guys also think of the comments. So I'm going to give my opinion, but at the same time, we're also going to put some opinions of what you guys actually think. So, yeah, let's move into the subject. So, first we're going to start off with GB's comment. So, yeah. I guess you can read it.
Okay, I guess I can read my own comment.
Yeah.
Okay, so publishers, corporate greed, that's what I think is the obvious reason why video games are trash. With exceptions, there's obviously always exceptions, especially when it comes to modern gaming. Nothing wrong with making money or earning profit from good quality products, and I do believe businesses have a right to make money, especially if they're selling a good product, whether it's a good video game or some good food. We've been watching Kitchen Nightmares, and like a lot of the restaurants we've been checking out are pretty bad. Well, at least they start off bad. And look, those restaurants don't deserve to make money if they're going to have bad product. The same thing goes with publishers and developers of video games.
It's kind of the same thing, different product.
Exactly, but it can be brought over to almost everything else, including video games. The suits at the top of these multi-billion-dollar companies want to squeeze every last dollar, dime, nickel, and penny out of consumers as they possibly can. Bear in mind, these suits make between 7 figures to 8, some of them even 9 figures a year, which is hundreds of millions of dollars with bonuses.
Especially the CEO. Like, you've seen, like, what, Strauss-Zelnick?
Yeah, Strauss-Zelnick, one of several examples.
And Bobby.
Or Bobby Kotick, yeah.
Yeah, like, they make billions or millions or billions. I don't know. It's up there.
Yeah.
And what the hell do they do besides just lead?
That's one thing I've always had an issue with corporations.
Like, what do they actually do?
Yeah, and they're just the face. They're at the top, and a lot of times you wonder if the companies would be better off without them. And the employees suffer. You have issues with Activision Blizzard. I know we're getting off topic. But that is part of the problem, is because of issues happening internally at these companies, like long hours, crunch time, like sexual allegations and harassment that happened at Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, that's mostly Activision.
Yeah, it does lead to a bad product. So that's another issue.
Or delays.
Yeah, delays are fine, but the problem is whenever they're trying to rush the game out the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, plus they go the cheap and easy route with nostalgia with the crappy remasters that are nothing more than cash grabs. There's a few exceptions. Yeah. A very few exceptions of good remasters, but most of the time, the remasters suck. Or they re-release the same game over and over again. Like I mentioned a couple of examples, Skyrim and GTA 5. Both of them originally came out on the 360 and PS3, have been released over and over and over again over the past decade.
Yeah.
We have yet to see a new Elder Scrolls game. We're not going to see a new Elder Scrolls game until sometime after the Starfield game that Bethesda's working on, which is supposed to come out this summer. So this summer you get Starfield, and it may be a few more years before you get Elder Scrolls 6. And that's the same thing for GTA 6. It could be 2 or 3 years away before we get GTA 6. But they do that because those two games are extremely popular, and they've made so much money off of Skyrim and GTA 5 that they just re-release them over and over again. And those are not the only two examples. Those are just the two primary ones. Plus, you have all these different editions, right? You have the standard edition, which was once $60. Now it's $70.
Yeah, now it's 70.
But you have the limited edition, the gold edition, the ultimate edition, the platinum edition, the bend you over and screw you out of all your money edition.
Yeah, they have all types of editions.
And most of if you look at everything that comes with these so-called editions, most of them are not even worth buying. But unfortunately, fans of these various franchises will share out like anywhere from $100 to $200 to $300+ for these particular like limited, rare, ultra, mega editions.
Yeah.
And of course, microtransactions are a big problem with a lot of online live service games. Now, there's some games that do it a little bit better, but then there's some that just microtransaction every single thing. And it's apparently very, very bad when it comes to the so-called free-to-play smartphone games. But there definitely are plenty of like platform games on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC that are just as guilty. And that's what it comes down to. They focus their studios on making these microtransaction heavy online live service games because that's all the rage right now. I mean, yes, there is still demand for really good quality single player games, but unfortunately we see few and far between quality single player games these days, especially from the AAA studios. But there are indie studios out there that are making good games.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's the best thing that we can do right now is just support these type of studios just because, well, right now it's just not worth supporting like Activision or Take-Two or, 2K or whatever. It's not worth it. They sell out the same thing over and over again, like, especially when it comes to sports games.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I guess let's move on to the next comment.
Okay.
Which is...
Icarus,
a.k.a.
Max Ammo, GG Bro.
Yeah. All right, so he says, I don't think it's trash at all. Okay, so that's new. I don't think it's trash at all. I think players just get spoiled and expect the best of the best handed to them too often. I always say if you're burnt out on the same old games, then it's on you. Break out of your comfort zone, try new ones. Especially games you might not have even thought you play.
Well, I understand where Icarus is coming because some of us do have the habit of playing the same game over and over again. And you play it to the point where you're burnt out, but for some reason you keep playing it.
Yeah.
But the reality is there is trash games out there. I hate to say that because I want every single game that comes out, whether it's an indie studio or a AAA studio, even the online live service games, I want those to be good games. But there are awful games that get rushed out onto the market in the holiday season by their publishers in order to make as much money at the first quarter as possible, and they end up having terrible launches. And even if the studios, like for example with Hangar 13, with Mafia 3, that game shouldn't have come out in October 2016, or Cyberpunk, that game should not have come out in 2020. It needed more time. And those are just two of many examples, like the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition. Those three remasters needed more time. And they weren't allowed more time because Rockstar and Take-Two had to rush those games out the door because originally the PS5 Xbox Series version of GTA 5 and Online was supposed to come out on that day in November, but it got pushed to March.
They delayed it.
So they had to put something in its place in that November last year. Well, not the year before last, because last year would be 2022, so it's already 2023.
Yeah.
But this has been done over and over again by numerous studios. So products that would have been good, decent products are being rushed out the door, half-assed, unfinished, needing more time in the oven. Mm-hmm. And some of the studios do a good job with eventually, fixing most of the issues in these games. But there are definitely plenty of games that get released that they fix a few issues and it still doesn't solve the problem. Yeah. And it just ends up being utter garbage. But I do see where Icarus is coming.
Also, another thing I want to say, even though, because there are free-to-play games out there that you could just try for free, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is gotta break out of your comfort zone and try new ones. But see, when it comes to full-price games, like $70, not everybody has $70. They could say, I didn't like this game. Let me buy another one. Oh, $70.
Yeah.
And it's it gets expensive. It's expensive. You have two games. It's $140 plus tax.
Yeah, games are more expensive. You have inflation. You have, the global issues going on right now. You have shortages. People are struggling just to put food on the table, pay bills. And a lot of people simply just can't buy a brand new game. So unless
it's free to play or an old game,
yeah,
where you just wait maybe 4 or 5 years to buy it just because it's on discount.
Yeah.
Or something, and then you get it because it's like 80% off at that point. Then yeah, go ahead, buy it. It's cheap and you can, get it. But at that point, then, it gets expensive. This gaming is getting very expensive.
It is, and it's getting even more expensive with every generation.
Yeah, it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get 80, then 90, eventually.
Yeah, especially with inflation and the value of modern currency continuing to deteriorate in the economy. So yeah, I mean it's a concern, and that's why I think a lot more people gravitate towards free to plays, because they don't have to spend $70. Well, initially, but unfortunately, the way that most of these free to plays are crafted is where there's a lot of like FOMO, fear of missing out, or peer pressure, or even worse on smartphone free to plays, where it feels like things are locked. And in order for you to advance faster, instead of it taking long, or even have access to any of the additional contents at all, you have to spend real money. So you may end up spending way more money than $70 for a standard AAA game.
Yeah, that's true. That's the whole thing. It's the whole spending money kind of deal that's going on nowadays. They just want to squeeze every single cent that you have. And that's just not let's just say AAA. It's just every game. Like free to play, then you have like Fortnite. Fortnite has skins, but obviously they just want to keep making you buy more and more.
Yeah, I mean there's an encouragement because they, the past few years they've become more involved in like real life IPs and franchises. Like they're involved with Disney, Marvel, Star Wars.
But here's the thing that get me is that I think it was in 2020 where if you're a Save the World player, if you buy Save the World now, you may not longer get V-Bucks, which is making, you're an OG, but if you're like a new player, you no longer get V-Bucks, making you spend money. Like if you want a skin, you're forced to spend money.
Yeah, or the battle pass,
which you need to spend money.
Yeah.
To get the V-Bucks in the first place. Like there are some free ones, but I think there's like 500 or 600 V-Bucks, then you have to wait for the next one, and then you may be able to get the battle pass.
Yeah.
Which I guess you could do that, but that's like 4 or 5 months of waiting.
That's the hard part, because you have to be disciplined enough to spend only a certain amount of V-Bucks on the battle pass and not use any of those V-Bucks sitting there while every day the item shop updates.
It's just, it updates and it's like, oh my god, look at this skin, I want it so bad.
Yeah, and you have to resist temptation and say, no, I'm going to spend the V-Bucks on the next battle pass.
That's how they get you. And it's like, oh my god, but I love this skin, and then you have like 24 hours to get it.
Yeah.
It's FOMO.
Because, exactly. Eventually, I mean, they have so many deals, not only with their original content, which a lot of you prefer now. I mean, there's a lot of people out there like you, Daniel, that just want to use the original stuff.
Skins, yeah.
But I'm kind of on the middle. I like some of the original skins, but I also like some of the IPs that they bring in, like Star Wars. The advertisement. Yeah, the advertisements, as Tay Daniel likes to call them. But there's a lot of people out there that are Star Wars fans, Marvel fans. They even have some DC characters in there, so that's crazy. They spread all over the place. They have like movies, even other video games. Like Doomslayer is one of the characters you can get in the most recent Battle Pass. Yeah. And that's just one of many examples. So you can find almost any sort of fictional character, whether it's a TV show, movie, comics, or even other video games, that ended up being that guy or that girl or that character in Fortnite.
Yeah. And it's not even Fortnite alone now. It's the same thing with COD points and Call of Duty. And they have the same thing. If you want to play on Vanguard, you could be the Terminator. Or you could be Godzilla. You could be King Kong, etc.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Cold War. And when Black Ops Cold War was in its prime, it was like Rambo, or who was the other one? John McClane.
Yeah.
They have all these crossover. They want to get as much money as they can out of you. Because
they know that there's fans of Die Hard, there's fans of Rambo, there's fans of Terminator out there. And if they're playing COD or they're playing Fortnite, and one of their favorite franchises or favorite fictional character happens to be in the item shops, of course they're going to want to spend money to buy those characters.
Right. But, let's move on to the next comment. ESP, yeah. Yes, I agree with your points. That's why I like games like Elden Ring or God of War. If Elden Ring was created by Ubisoft, there would be half amount of content. The rest would be 2 DLCs, and also there would be XP boost. There are still major companies who put out quality games without microtransactions, and it's up to us to support them, which I fully agree.
I agree as well.
Like, for example, let's say another one, Sucker Punch, and Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
That game was amazing, and I think the director's cut is the only way you can get the expansion.
Yeah.
Yes, it did have DLC, but it was really good.
Yeah.
And I think you had to pay for that one. But still, it was really good. It's like good story expansion. But then you have the multiplayer, which is Legends, which is standalone right now. I guess you could buy it if you want.
But they're not going to update it any further.
Oh, yeah, they're not going to update it any further. So what you see is what you get.
The better deal is just to buy the director's cut of Ghost of Tsushima because you also get Legends.
Yeah, you get everything.
But,
so
yeah, there are studios out there that still make good quality single-player games.
Like,
and
for
those
example,
are some good examples. From Software, as well as
God of War.
Yeah, Santa Monica Studios. They're the ones that made God of War, I think. Right?
I don't know who makes God of War.
Yeah, I think so. I could be wrong about that. I might want to Google that just to make sure.
You might want to Google that later.
Yeah, while you're...
But then again, you have like more games, and you have like what GB played, Evil West.
Yeah, Evil West is a great game. It's by indie Polish studio, and it was a great game. I love Evil West.
But yeah, like all these studios that are like hidden, because everything's like Activision, Blizzard, and Take-Two Interactive, maybe Ubisoft. Like those are the generic, like Santa Monica Studios.
I was right for once.
Yeah, you were right.
Yay!
But yeah, then you have like all these studios that are like kind of hidden, like Sucker Punch. They've only made a couple of games like Sly Cooper, Infamous.
What's one of your favorite Sly Cooper?
Sly Cooper is like my favorite franchise of all time.
Yeah.
But then you have Infamous, and then you have Ghost of Tsushima, which is like even though they haven't made that many games, they've been like free IPs. Their games have been amazing. I've never been a fan of Infamous. I just never cared.
Yeah.
But Ghost of Tsushima and Sly Cooper, I love. And what about you, GB? Name a few that I haven't mentioned.
A few single-player games?
Yeah, that you've liked.
Well, I mean...
or multiplayer games that you liked.
Okay. I mean, since like ESP's talking about single-player games, let's just focus on that. Now, Ubisoft has made some good single-player games in the past, but the problem with Ubisoft is they started churning out their Assassin's Creed franchise year after year, but they started moving it back to 2-year periods. But there's a lot of copy pasta in an Ubisoft game. Whether it's an Assassin's Creed game, Far Cry...
That is true.
Or one of their other franchises like Division. Like a lot of people have gone back to playing the first Division because they love it so much more than Division 2. So I think there's obviously an issue at Ubisoft when it comes to like just taking the same ingredients and just remixing them over and over again. Sometimes it works, sometimes it just feels very apparent. But once again, there are definitely some really good single player studios out there. And yeah, if you want single player games like Respawn, for example, they made Jedi Fallen Order. They also do Apex Legends. But,
true, they do have good games.
Yeah, but they also do Jedi Fallen Order, which is currently free on PlayStation Plus. And the sequel, Jedi Survivor, which I'm very much looking forward to, is coming out in March. And that's a single-player game that's going to be good, hopefully. You got Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, a Nintendo game. The Zelda franchise, extremely popular. Still much beloved single-player franchise.
Right. Then you have, like, Insomniac Games.
Yeah, you have Insomniac Games. And, people love them. People love Naughty Dog. I mean, I know their past couple...
Well, besides Last of Us 2.
Yeah, Last of Us 2. I mean, it could have been handled a little bit better, but I mean, you love the Uncharted franchise.
Yeah, I love Uncharted. Yeah, 1 to 4. Yeah. And I guess the PSP game, PS Vita, I guess.
So yeah, I mean, Rockstar. You can even, despite my criticisms of how they've handled GTA Online, and especially Red Dead Online, they've made some phenomenal single player games over the years. I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2 was amazing, and I still love playing it. Red Dead Online, on the other hand, unfortunately, it's been abandoned. But I do feel like from the early alpha that GTA 6 is going to be good. Whether or not it comes out in 2 years or 3 years from now, I hope it's worth the wait.
We'll see.
Yeah, but they've also kind of been like they've seen the precious of making monies off of shark cards in GTA Online, like a lot of the other studios. So unfortunately, it does, I think, have a negative influence on Rockstar because they're making less single player games and they're focusing more on trying to stretch out GTA Online for as long as possible. And that's my concern for GTA 6 Online, is that they're going to be even more microtransactions in the online version of that game.
I feel like it's going to be the same. And like it's going to be the new subscription with GTA 6 Plus or whatever they're going to call it.
Yeah.
And the shark cards.
Yeah.
I feel like they're going to add the same thing, but it might be like Vice Bucks or something. V-Bucks.
Yeah, something.
Vice Bucks. I don't know.
Yeah, there'll be a battle pass probably. There'll be GTA Plus. There'll be shark cards once again.
We'll see because since they abandoned Red Dead, they haven't introduced any battle pass elements to GTA Online.
Well, maybe they can't, or maybe they make so much money off shark cards and GTA Plus that they don't really need to.
We'll see.
For GTA 6 Online, I would be surprised if there wasn't a version of the battle pass or the criminal pass or something pass.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, and they're gonna have like 2 free currencies. I don't know.
Yeah,
because they experimented with that. Like Red, they had like 4 currencies.
Unfortunately, they had cash, they had gold, but then they added the roll tokens, and then they added Capitale.
Yeah. All right, so we're moving on to Sedan. So let's see what he says. A few things. Super long development times are the first and foremost. Games are taking longer and longer to come out, and when they eventually do, they're often broken, worse than earlier games in the franchise, poorly optimized, and overly monetized. I think I said that right?
Yeah, you did.
If games didn't take so long to develop, their issues wouldn't be so frustrating. I'm still playing games from 2010 to 2016 more often than pretty much anything newer. I'm doing the same thing. I'm just going back to old games because they're finished. And I fully agree. Like, you have, like, Overwatch 2. Issues everywhere. It's just, ugh. And then you have, let's say, another poorly optimized, like Security Breach. It was a good... I like Security Breach. But when it came out, it was broken beyond belief. Stuttering everywhere, frame drops everywhere, glitches everywhere, and yeah. That game got delayed, like, 4 times. And it still got, like... Jesus Christ.
It's weird because there are definitely games that have been delayed for a while and weren't rushed out, but still had problems. Because even if I think Cyberpunk's
another one.
Yeah, Cyberpunk and FNAF Security Breach both needed more time. To be fair, they both had a lot of production time, like Sedan's talking about. It just seems to take these studios longer for some reason to make these games. I don't know if the technology is just more complicated. For example, PS5, Xbox compared to say
PS2,
like 2 or 3 generations ago. Like let's just say 360 PS3 games. It didn't feel like it took them this long to put out a video game. Like what 3 years was usually the rotation.
2 to 3 years.
Well, why does it take longer? I mean, you can hire more people, and
I don't know.
The technology is supposed to be better. So you think that
does it take longer to render models or something?
I don't know. That's the problem. I don't know why it takes longer. And then at the end of the day, it takes longer to rotate new games out, and they end up coming out with serious issues.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know jack about game development, so I can't say what goes on behind the scenes, but it does take longer. And they're still broken. Like, I don't get it. I mean, we had games like Call of Duty Black Ops 1 that came out in like 2010. And yeah, it had some broken weapons, but it was a fun game. And then you compare it to like Vanguard.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck was that? It's like, yeah, does it look nicer? Yeah, because it was made on the PS3, and then you have Vanguard on the PS5. But, like, it plays worse, broken bugs everywhere. It's just like, I don't get it.
I would be surprised if the budget for Vanguard was, if you like even it out, right? Because inflation. But I'm curious about the budget between these games, like older GTA games compared to say GTA 5 or GTA 6. I get the feeling that the budget is a lot bigger for GTA 6, and there's obviously way more people working on GTA 6 than perhaps even GTA 5. Yet it's taking longer to come out with GTA 6, and it's the same thing for these 2 COD games you just talked about, Black Ops 1 versus, for example, Vanguard, which was the previous COD game that came out that was a disaster.
Yeah.
I feel like there was probably a larger team behind Vanguard, and they probably had a bigger budget, but they came out with an overall worse game. Like, how is that possible?
I don't get it. Maybe it's the story? No, actually, no, because once you remove the campaign, the multiplayer still sucks.
Yeah.
And then you have, like, zombies, which I don't know what the fuck was that. I bought the game for zombies, and I feel so ripped off. I want my $70 back, and I know I'm never getting that back, sadly. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know what's taking everybody so long. I don't know. Maybe it's emotion capture.
Maybe it's a talent issue.
But I don't know, because then you have games like Uncharted 1. That game was full motion capture. And I think it took them like 2 to 3 years.
Motion capture is nothing new. They used it in the original Mafia game for cutscenes. They used it in L.A. Noire for a lot of their cutscenes. So it's not like motion capture is a new technology. So you can't really use that as an excuse.
Well, I don't know
But
what's taking it so long anyways.
Maybe the developers...
Communication?
Maybe it's the problem with cutting corners when it comes to developers. Or they don't have the best developers. Maybe they have too many... Like Rockstar has an issue at the moment with that Jason Schreier article months ago about how they've been trying to restructure things at Rockstar Games, but they seem to have too many managers where they have to go to like 3 different managers in order to get something approved. And maybe it's a streamlining issue, and maybe it's too many cooks in the kitchen.
Now, this is something that we haven't talked about yet, but one thing is that there is, zero communication between them. And also this feeling that the devs don't know what the fans want.
Yeah, they're out of touch.
Yeah, they're out of touch. It's like, oh, this is what the fans want. And it's like, do you even play your own game? Like, do you?
Yeah.
And then because for example, you get DLCs like the new GTA Online DLC. It's like,
let's be honest about the new DLC from Rockstar. Yeah, there was some quality of life improvements for
that could have been added like a year or 2 ago.
Yeah, but there needs to be more quality of life improvements for a 9+ year old game. And a lot of the elements were just copy pasta from previous DLCs that they've added over the years. And a lot of the content was also locked. And it's going to be stretched out, drip-fed into the spring. Perhaps some people are even speculating into the summer.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But, I mean, it's just... I mean, I get it. Rockstar's focusing a lot of their efforts on GTA 6 right now. I totally understand. But because GTA Online has been so successful and has made them so much money, you'd think that they would put out better quality content for GTA Online as a return of that loyalty and that financial support and success that the fans and the players have given Rockstar and Take-Two when it comes to GTA Online. But it just feels like more of the same copy pasta.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on to the next comment, we have Benny. And he says, I feel like what's happened is ultimately a combination of things. So here we go. Companies have gotten to a sort of plateau in terms of what can be done. The PS5 and Xbox Series are cheaper and almost as powerful as modern gaming PCs. But there's also a ridiculous note when it comes to making games that really need to fizzle out, like crunch culture, bad launchers, and excessive monetization. And here we go. This is what I was about to say. Devs are often extremely tone deaf to the wants of their most loyal customers. I can't read. Consumers. I'm struggling here. I don't know why. While crowds of players by and large have grown irritatingly, right? Irritatingly? Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Ignorant of the monstrous effort that makes a good game. A game good. See? It's just... Hell, the fact that video games even exist at all, nothing short of an engineering miracle when you think about it. In general, it's just a loop of greedy companies pumping money into rush projects that get fed to ignorant audiences, which I feel like that's also true. Games today are insanely complex compared to games from even just a decade ago. They're just not the passion projects that games from that era were. And yeah, now I feel like everything's just cash grab. They're not failing because of laziness. They're failing because of burnout. What do you think?
I think that Benny makes some good points there.
He does.
Yeah, I think there are complicated games from previous generations. For example, I think some of the hardest games to play are from like the NES, Sega era, because you had less saves, less checkpoints. It was less forgiving to play through those games, but ultimately they were fun, and graphically compared to modern games, of course, graphically inferior, but there's still the fun factor of those games and the challenge of those games, and that's something I think a lot of people like about Elden Ring. It's a beautiful looking game. It's not the best looking game ever, but it's that fun factor, that challenge that Elden Ring, from Software offers to the players that makes people love it so much.
Right.
And that's just something that I think a lot of these studios are missing. There, at one time, was more passion in the gaming industry when it came to ideas for video games, willing to take risks when it comes to video games or new franchises and IPs. And it's still there. There definitely are studios out there, big and small. The smaller studios seem to be the ones that are trying to be the new trailblazers, and that's good because with Unreal Engine 5, it does ultimately even the playing field between the indies and the AAA studios, because there's a lot of tools, for a smaller studio to take advantage of with Unreal Engine 5. If they do it properly, they can make some really good quality games that are up there with AAA. And that's why I'm really excited about what a lot of the studios are going to be bringing out in the next few years when it comes to Unreal Engine 5. But it's just the passion. A lot of it's become corporatized, and you have people like from the very top that are concerned about profit, profit, profit. They don't care about a good quality product anymore.
No.
But there are exceptions. I always have to say there are exceptions. There definitely are good games in production right now that are going to ultimately be really good, really enjoyable. There'll be definitely some fun games in 2023, hopefully, 2024, so on. But it does feel like that number has dwindled because of corporate greed.
Yeah, and the thing is like you said, there's always the exception. But then you have, like, the generic ones.
Yeah.
Like, for example, sports games, every single time.
Yeah, every year, the same game.
It's the same thing with, like, maybe one unique feature or something. If not the same thing with just an updated roster. And there you go, just pay $70 for it.
Yeah, and
it's just that right there, sports games are just a cash grab. That's just a pure cash grab. Then you have, like, for example, let's say, Assassin's Creed or any Ubisoft game. It's just the same thing, and let's just add one unique feature. Like, for example, like, besides the setting in Assassin's Creed, like, because in Black Flag, it was the
Caribbean,
ship.
pirates.
Yeah, but it's like a different setting, but it's like the same thing.
Well, I mean, that's a good point, because even though I absolutely love Black Flag because I love pirate games and I do consider it to be one of the best assassin games.
Yeah.
It did implement some copy pasta elements from Assassin's Creed 3. Like
free,
the ship-to-ship stuff came from Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah.
And so they ported it over to Black Flag, and then they ported it over to Assassin's Creed Rogue. And what I liked about Rogue was they did something different. They flipped the script, where you started off as an assassin, and then, spoiler alert, you end up becoming a Templar. And that's something that a lot more Assassin's Creed fans have been wanting, is like a fully fledged game, longer and bigger than Rogue, that would show the perspective of the Templars and just show how scary the assassins would be. Where any moment you're walking down the street and all of a sudden you just get jumped by assassins. I don't know if they exactly did as good of a job with that element of the assassins in Rogue, but Ubisoft plays it safe. And
they play it too safe.
They play it safe, and they do a lot of copy pasta.
Isn't that like the same thing with Far Cry?
Yeah, Far Cry is an Ubisoft game, and they do. And look, people complain about Far Cry 6 being a Far Cry game and feeling too much like a Far Cry game. But to be fair, the average Far Cry fan, including myself, enjoyed it because it was a Far Cry game. So that's the balance, because the average fan of the game is going to enjoy it. And they don't want the game to feel too different than what they have come to expect. And that's the problem, because I do think that studios need to take risks and change it up, break it down, rebuild it. Kind of like what they did with God of War, with God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok, because like they completely soft rebooted that franchise, and some people hated it. There was a lot of God of War fans out there that hated, God of War 2018, that loved the older God of Wars, but they felt the risk to change the game, and it worked out. I think. I mean, like God of War 2018 won Game of the Year, and Ragnarok won a lot of awards as well. They almost won Game of the Year. Elden Ring won, and I think Elden Ring deserved it. But yeah, I mean, too many studios right now, especially the corporate like AAA studios that rack in billions and billions of dollars a year, and everyone answers to on high, the board, the CEOs, the suits. They're the ones, unfortunately, the ones the studios and the developers answer to.
Right.
And so the passion's just not there. As it once was with earlier Assassin's Creed games or earlier Far Cry games. It's just keeping it safe, staying in the square box that they've been confined in, and not branching out.
It's the same thing with COD.
Yeah.
It's like, let's just do the same thing, and then just let's update it a little bit, and let's just add COD is basically the same game. It's just a variation of the same thing.
Yeah.
Because you do the same thing in every single COD. Does it play differently? Yeah, some things they play differently. Maybe it's the guns, maybe it's the perks, but it's a variation of the same thing. You're always doing the same thing. You're always grabbing a gun and killing somebody else. But, like, there's no innovation.
Yeah.
It's
like, if there is, it's very minimum. It's
very minimum.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Like, for example, when it came to Modern Warfare 2019, that game was like, oh, let's just make it like super looking realistic and add doors to the map, and there you go.
Doors. We got doors now.
We got doors now, and then it's like in Cold War, everybody hates doors, and it's like, okay, let's remove the doors. And Cold War, I kinda enjoyed. It was a mixed relationship with that game. Then you have the zombies in Cold War, which I actually kind of like, but then you have Back to Vanguard, and they had like these mini destructibles, Levolution, Battlefield, wood doors that you could destroy.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, and then people just destroy, and it didn't even help because all it did was just cause heck glitches.
Yeah.
It was a mess. And now with Modern Warfare 2, they have doors back.
Yay!
Like, there is zero innovation. And the only thing is like, oh yeah, we updated Warzone now. Now we have Warzone 2. That's it. And all the updates are now going to Warzone. It's like, I don't play Battle Royale. I don't like Battle Royale that much.
It's because Warzone's their cash grab.
And I don't even know why.
And they've fallen into the Battle Royale craze, just like with Fortnite and PUBG before that and Apex.
Everything's just Battle Royale now.
Yeah, and I think people are getting tired of Battle Royale.
I know I am.
But the problem is what comes after Battle Royale, because that's the big question. I don't know what the next thing is going to be, and I hope it's better, but you always concern yourself with it possibly being worse.
I agree. All right, let's move on to... We're going to leave my comment for last.
I think that's a good idea.
All right, so let's move on to Dylan. I guess you can read Dylan. I've been reading all the comments.
Okay, fine. I'll read Dylan's.
All right.
All right. So comparing a mediocre player who logs in every day to a player who plays once a week and naturally great at a game, the mediocre player would unlock a lot more stuff faster since the game nowadays are all about the grind and time money invested. Meanwhile, the good player gets rewarded with harder lobbies, occasionally a ban for quote-unquote cheating, sometimes justified. Unfortunately, a lot of times it's not justified, but I do see the point. There are different types of gamers. Of course, there are the casual gamer.
And the hardcore.
And the hardcore gamer and the esports gamer, The
pro, yeah.
The one that thinks they're going to be the next big esports player, and they sacrifice everything else, like a life, education, getting a real job because they think that they're going to be the next big esports pro player. But yeah, there's different types of players. And a moment ago, you were talking about the sports games. And that's a different breed, is the quote-unquote sports game players. They are the most abused community in the entire gaming industry. And yet they take it year after year with the same game. And I just don't understand why they keep buying Madden over and over again.
It's the same with my cousin. My cousin is just the same from buying 2K and Madden.
Yeah.
I told him it's the same game with an updated roster. Why are you spending $60 and $70 on it?
It seems like most of them are none the wiser. They gladly shell out $60 now $70 to get the newest Madden or the newest NBA or the newest whatever other sports games are out there that release every single year.
Yeah.
And until enough of them get outraged by it, and I know every year as a tradition, Angry Joe, puts out his own epic review rant of the latest Madden. And he does cite how things have not changed from previous Maddens, how it's just a lot of copy pasta and problems in previous Maddens return to the new Madden. And like you were talking about, the only thing that really changes is that the most rosters are if there's a new team added or a new location for that team or a new name, then they'll do that. But for the most part, most of the gamings that comes through the sports industry, I think maybe MLB The Show is actually the exception. I think that's actually a really good sports game, but it's the exception. Most of the others are just the same game year after year with very few improvements, if any.
Right, but I get what he's saying here because this is kind of from like a Call of Duty point of view in my eyes.
Okay.
Because it says, meanwhile, good players get rewarded with harder lobbies and occasionally banned from cheating, which is true. But the thing is it's bullshit because everybody should be treated the same way. It's like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna play maybe half an hour, and then there you have the ones that play 3 hours, let's say, comparing.
Okay.
And it's true, the hardcore players get screwed over because if you're a casual, you just get casual lobbies, and it's like whatever. I'm not that good, and I just get whatever lobby. But if you get good at the game and you put the effort into the game, you get screwed over because you get put over with all the other people that also are really hardcore, and all you do is every game sweat.
Yeah.
And because before skill-based matchmaking was a thing, it was just connection.
Yeah.
And that's it, just connection, and there you go play. So occasionally you get lobbies where it was 2 dumbasses and like three okay decent players. And then you have like maybe in the other team like 1 pro and like 4 dumbasses.
So you would prefer it to go back to the old way?
Yeah, because it was just connection based.
Yeah.
The connection is better. Now you can have like a Sweatfest game and there could be lag for no reason.
Yeah.
And it's just because of skill-based matchmaking. I mean, I've been seeing YouTubers where it's like, oh, I'm in Texas. Hey, where are you? Oh, I'm in Spain.
Yeah. And they're supposed to be on different servers. Well, some studios have different servers, depending on your region in the world, like Europe or North America, etc.
Yeah, and it's like that. It's like, it's stupid. Yeah. It's just should just be connection based, and everybody should be on the same playing field.
And that's
that's the new reason I didn't buy Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna sweat every single time. I'm not gonna, because I learned the same thing with the recent free, which was 2019 Cold War and Vanguard. It's the same thing.
Do you think that there needs to be like a middle ground?
No.
You don't think so?
Connection based, and that's it.
Connection based, okay.
Yeah. And everybody, and you either get wrecked, you do good, or you do amazing.
Yeah. But do you think that makes it too easy for like a really good player to walk into a lobby and just destroy casual players?
Well, guess what?
What?
That's why you have ranked.
Okay.
If you want to sweat, go to ranked.
Okay.
If you want to casually practice and maybe go against some noobs, you have quick play.
Yeah.
Which is, and that's something at least in Overwatch I see that. I don't know, because in Overwatch, in quick play, I don't see too many sweats. It's just people just doing whatever the fuck they want. And then you have ranked, where everybody's a fucking tryhard yelling in the mic. At least in gold, silver, platinum, I get at least one dude screaming at me, even though I have like 10k heals. It is what it's like, healers, what are you doing? And then I'm just like, 10k heals. It's like, what the fuck are you complaining about?
Yeah.
And it's just his bad positioning. But of course, he has to blame somebody else because it's not me.
Yeah, it's not their fault for being a bad player.
No. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's move on to the next comment.
Okay, we're moving on to Bounty Hunter. An example I have for modern gaming is trash, personally, the newest Modern Warfare game. So they don't like Modern Warfare.
I don't like it either.
Okay. They said that the game is $70 because all AAA games are just going to be more pricey because it's AAA. Plus, yeah, quote unquote. Plus, they push so many microtransactions in for game skins, etc. But I would rather spend less money on that than something like God of War Ragnarok and get a better experience overall and not have such heavy microtransactions and be pushed on me either. Let's see, or none at the same time.
Okay, pause it right there.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, that's also another good point.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're spending $70 on the game, right?
Yeah.
You would think you would be getting everything.
Yeah, you think you'd be getting a good quality game.
No, you have to pay.
Spend more.
You have to spend more. Once you're done with that, you have like the $20 bundles, you have like the $10 bundles for the skins and the executions.
Yeah.
And it's like, can you earn that? No, you have to buy it.
Yeah. Well, here's another thing really quick, and I'll finish Bounty Hunter's comment.
Yeah.
Is like nowadays, a lot more people buy the game digitally.
Yeah.
There's still some people that buy it physically, but why do digital players have to pay the same price?
Okay, yeah.
Because we're not spending money on a disc or the plastic box that it comes in. We're saving money, so we should be rewarded by buying digitally.
I don't know. Maybe it's because they just want everybody on the same playing field of buying, just paying the same thing.
But they're obviously pushing you towards digital. They're eventually going to phase out physical copies, unfortunately, whether we like it or not. And I realize a lot of people prefer physical copies to games. But sadly, that's the way it's going. And as an additional incentive, you'd think that they would say, hey, if you're buying it digitally, you're going to save $10 or whatnot. But no, we all have to pay the same price. It just seems ridiculous. But anyways, back to Bounty Hunter's comment. I get multiplayer being a bag factor and microtransactions, but it's also a thing for GTA 5 and Rockstar pushing GTA Plus and shark cards. Exactly. It's more of a business thing, I guess, to the point that you can make that having microtransactions and subscription don't let you off the hook as a game company, even if you're AAA studio. Sorry for a longer comment. Well, that's okay.
But yeah, it's BS.
Yeah.
Just paying more for $70.
Yeah.
You're already paying $70, but apparently that's not good enough.
Well, that's the thing. Like we were talking about good quality products, right?
Yeah.
There are good car brands out there that you'll pay a little bit more for because, like a Honda. I mean, it's not the most expensive car brand, but they're pretty consistent and good quality cars. And then there's the cheaper brands out there that you pay less for. But what if, like, we were forced to pay the same price for everything, and yet you got a piece of shit for that price? When you're like, no, I paid this much money, I should have a better product.
You know what I think?
What?
All these AAA games, like for example, Call of Duty doing this BS.
Yeah.
It should go free to play, because if you're gonna do all this free to play BS,
Yeah.
like because selling bundles on everything, I mean they already have Warzone for free.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna sell all these bundles and all this BS for this game, it should be free.
I agree.
Yeah, right.
It goes back to what we were talking about. It's these corporations making as much money off these games as possible, milking the players for every last penny that we have. And they'll slap on that $70 price tag because other games are doing it. And on top of that, different editions. And then the microtransactions.
Yeah, it's just not enough for them.
No, it'll never be enough.
Like, for example, if you're selling like a fully $70 game, you should get everything. It's $70.
Yeah.
Like, do you know how much $70 is to one person?
Yeah.
You know what that is? That could be like a week's worth of food for somebody.
Yeah, I mean, there's people out there doing really bad right now in the global economy, and they're struggling just to put food on the table and pay bills and keep a roof over their head. And some people, yeah, $70 isn't as much to them, but there's a lot of people out there that
$70 is their life.
Exactly.
But yeah, see, it's just what I mean. If you're gonna ask for all these bundles, BS, go free to play, because otherwise, I'm not buying a single thing for you anymore.
Yeah.
Like I used to, but now I stopped.
Yeah.
I'm not spending any money on this.
I agree. You either go one way or the other. Either you just say $70 and that's all you have to pay for, unless you want to buy paid DLC. Okay, fine. Like story DLCs. I'm willing to pay for good quality story DLCs to single player games that I love.
Or if the game's free to play.
Yeah.
If they actually do go free to play, where I can just download the game I want and then that's it.
Yeah.
Since I don't have to buy the game.
Yeah, and if it's free to play, okay, I can see why there's microtransactions in quote unquote free to plays, because they have to make money off the game somehow after putting years and investing time and money into those games.
Right, but if you're gonna go $70 and still asking for more,
yes,
I feel like that's BS.
Pure utter greed.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the next comment. Dark MatterWolf. Some things are being woke and lacking creativity and good writing. The Saints Row No Hope game is a good example. And yeah, I guess woke. What do you think? Wokeness in games.
I say that even if you replace the quote unquote message, Saints Row would still be a bad game. The Saints Row remake is awful. It's Saints Row in name only. They just slapped Saints Row up there and used the name because of the fan base. But most Saints Row fans absolutely hate that game. The characters are terrible. The story's terrible.
Everything's terrible.
Everything's terrible.
The gunplay, the physics, the way the game looks, everything's just bad. That game was just not ready to come out, and I don't think it should have even come out, because even if the game is finished, all the bugs are fixed. No, the gunplay's perfect and everything. The story's still awful.
Yeah.
And that's something you just can't fix unless you fix the script. That's it.
Yeah, the script is terrible. The writing for the characters is awful. I don't blame the voice actors or voice actresses.
No, they did a good job.
Well, some of them. But they did the best they could of what they were giving. I know there's one voice actress you absolutely love.
Erica Lembeck.
Yeah. She was one of the options you had for the protagonist because you like her as Luna.
Luna and Hell Boss. And then you have, apparently, she's good at Cassie Cage, which I always like Cassie Cage, but I didn't know she voiced her.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, really? She voiced her? That's even better.
But it's like a fail on so many levels. It's a fail in the writing. And because the jokes don't land, they're not funny like they were in the other Saints Row games.
Right.
And at the same time, it doesn't feel like a Saints Row game. I mean, even Saints Row the Third, which a lot of OG Saints Row fans don't like as much as Saints Row 1 and 2, it's way better than this game. I mean, Saints Row 4 is way better than Saints Row name only. So it's not just the writing issue. It's the terrible characters. And it's also the development. The development it's an awful looking game. For a 2022 game, you think it would look better. You think that the mechanics would be better. I know we've been crapping on GTA 5, right? We've been saying some negative things about GTA 5, 9-plus-year-old game. It is still, if you put GTA 5 story mode up against Saints Row 2022 story mode, there's a lot more to do in GTA 5. It's a better story, better characters. And I would even say, like, the PS5, Xbox Series version of GTA 5 looks better than a 2022 game. There's no excuse for that. The helicopters actually move like helicopters, in GTA 5.
And those things still.
In Saints Row and Cringe Row, they just sit there in midair. And the draw distance is atrocious. The world itself, the map is disgusting.
It's disgusting to look at.
Yeah. I know we've gotten tired of Southern San Andreas, but when that game came out in 2013, and for a few years, a lot of us loved Southern San Andreas. It's a beautiful map, but it's just dated. We've been on that map for 9 years. So it's understandable to finally get tired of Southern San Andreas after 9 years. But there's no excuse for a game that has a map that's only several months old to already be tired of it before even the first playthrough or only playthrough you've done is over.
It's just ugly.
I got tired of it after 4 hours of playing that damn game.
Yeah, and then I took over.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's ugly and it's boring.
Yeah.
It's just that's the only thing I'm gonna say about Saints Row.
But that's the prime example of the problem is they take a franchise and the corporation is like, put this game out. And then you hire people that really shouldn't be in charge of a Saints Row game, that don't understand the heart and the soul of the previous games that came before it, or the characters, and what they mean to the fan base.
Right. GB.
Well.
So you like Saints Row 1 and 2?
I came in with Saints Row the Third, but I have watched Pat, the professional's Let's Plays of Saints Row. He's obviously a way bigger fan of Saints Row than I ever could be, but I respect the world building.
Then you're a terrorist.
Oh yeah, I'm a hater. You know.
You're a terrorist. How could you?
How could I? And look, for the record, I have nothing wrong with diversity. I'm all about diversity and equality. There's a right way to do it in stories, whether it's in a TV show, a movie, a video game, and there's a wrong way. And once again, they do it the wrong way in Cringe Row because the writers sucked.
All right, moving on to the next comment. We have Random Person, which he says 2 words: microtransactions and online only play, which is, yeah, microtransactions have ruined gaming. It's just how it is. And you have like the loot boxes and like buying skins for $20. It's just BS.
Yeah, preaching to the choir.
Like if it was like a single player only game and then you get like DLC story expansion, then yeah. But if it's just like cosmetics and whatever, yeah. And then online only play, yeah, more games have been going online only and requiring internet connection over single player. And hell, sometimes single player games require internet connection, which is BS. But yeah, I agree. Like if you combine those two, they've been taking over and they've been taking over good games. It's just like spam a multiplayer game and then that's it. And that's you just get an easy game. You want to say something?
No, I'm like I said, preaching to the choir. You know, I mean, he's been saying the same thing that we've been saying and other people have been saying, and yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah. All right. So Dennis says putting out unfinished games and laziness. Yeah, fully agree. I think that a lot of developers are lacking the passion from the PS1 and PS2 era. Yeah, I don't know.
Yes and no.
Yes, I know. I don't know if it's because of games being hard to make.
Yeah.
It could be that. Or it could, like I said, like one of the comments said, it could be the developers being completely out of touch. And they don't know anything about the franchise. For example, let's just say like the new Saints Row developers making the new game instead of like the old ones, you know? Because I doubt they're the same people.
There may have been a few people there. I don't know for sure because, like I said, I'm not a huge Saints Row fan. But when it comes to the developers, I don't blame the developers. That at the bottom, right? They're just coming in. They're getting a paycheck. They're doing the best they can. It's like upper management, middle management, the ones making these decisions for which direction these games are going, and of course the suits at the very top. They're the ones, in my opinion, that are to blame ultimately for a lot of the games not being as enjoyable as they once were.
Right. And, okay, let's move on to the next comment. We have Cyber. He says microtransactions, again, the same thing. Stereo community and depth communication, the same thing. It's like the same problems.
Yeah.
Infinite collaborations that make Call of Duty look like fucking Fortnite. It's true. It's true. I'm not against cartoon style. I'm just saying that Fortnite has its own style that fits him and maybe multiverses. Not so serious, but not so serious themed COD or Battlefield or even R6. I agree.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to. Every single franchise out there needs its own unique identity.
Yeah, they need their own identity now. It feels like everybody's copying everybody. It's like, hey, can I copy your homework? Sure, just don't make it the same as mine. And there you go.
And unfortunately, that happened to PUBG. PUBG had its own identity.
And they didn't want it to be something else.
Yeah, but after PlayerUnknown left, they started sacrificing that identity, and now it's just a shell of what PUBG once was.
Right. But now they made it free to play, and now they're doing the same thing as other games now.
Yeah.
But now, see, let's move over to Pocketful. He says microtransactions is the same thing. Microtransactions and an overall lack of creativity. There are good games out there, but they're copies or a continuation of something else. See what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like me saying the same thing with sports games, the Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Call of Duty, etc. It's the same thing. It's like a variation of the same thing and pay full price for it.
Yeah.
It's like, no. So I kind of, stopped buying. That's why I didn't buy Call of Duty this year and next year and the year after that. So I see some serious changes that they're actually willing to make the game good. Then we'll see. But other than that, I won't touch. Alright, and then we have Mr. Tay, and he says, games with a focus of making the gameplay cinematic and modern games trash. I want to play a game, not a movie. Also, a lot of games are too easy. No, a lot of the new games are too easy. Which I agree.
Yeah, with a few exceptions like Elden Ring, of course.
Yeah. And then you have like maybe security breach because of the freaking checkpoint system that they have in that game.
Yeah.
But that's subjective. Some people say that game's easy. Some people say that game's hard.
Yeah.
I found it like medium.
Yeah, but I do get where Tay's coming from when it comes to cinematic. And I think that was something a lot of people complain about God of War Ragnarok is that there's a lot of cutscenes in the game and not as much. I mean, there is gameplay, but not as much as players want. And there was a time when I used to get excited about cutscenes.
Yeah.
But it has gotten to the point, and there's a prime example we can talk about. Pokemon Arceus.
Arceus, yeah.
Like, overall, you thought the game was okay. You liked the fact that they were trying something different. But there was one thing you hated.
The story.
Yeah.
It's just, it was boring.
Yeah.
The characters sucked. The gameplay was good, but the characters sucked, and like I didn't care about anybody in that game. Not a single memorable character for me.
And to make matters worse, the studio behind it has made tons of money off of the Pokemon franchise. And they can't even hire voice actors to voice these lines so you can at least listen to what these characters have to say. You have to read everything?
Yeah, like I understand from maybe like the Game Boy to like maybe the 3DS era. Sure, you don't want to add voice acting. Sure, don't add
There's limitations.
There's limitations. But now the Switch?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you could add some voice in the Switch.
I agree.
If not, then make a better console. I don't know.
Yeah,
There's nothing I can
do. Or make it to where you can skip the dialogue. And because you had to sit through that dialogue and you didn't want to. You just wanted to move on and go play the game.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to skip the dialogue, all you got to do is like be like this. Just press B.
I know, but that shouldn't be... Like, you should be able to just hold down a button.
And skip everything.
And just, boom. It just sends you off to the next mission. Because a lot of people, they just want to play the game. The story, some people are really invested into this story or that story. And if the writing's good and the characters are believable and enduring, then, okay, people are going to be more invested in those characters. But at the end of the day, we're playing a video game.
Right.
And the gameplay has to be the huge chunk. I would say 90% of the game should be gameplay. Mm-hmm. Maybe 10%. Cutscenes. And that's me being generous.
Alright. But yeah, let's move on finally to my comment. We started with GB and we're gonna end with mine. So yeah.
Okay,
here we go. Here. Alright, so I think it's the way everything is handled with monetization, which is true. Like skins are always $5 to $25. Why can't I earn them? Which is true. Why do I have to buy everything? Everything is like, oh, you want to buy this skin? Oh, can I earn it? Oh, no, you just have to pay with your credit card. It's the same thing with Fortnite. Like, I got Save the World, and I got it before the whole BVUC BS.
Yeah, you got the Founders Pack.
Yeah, I got the Founders Pack. So now I can earn BVUCs. I could just buy them.
Yeah.
With my own currency. So I can just earn it and buy it. But, like, nowadays, you cannot do that anymore, which is BS for new players. Now they're forced to buy. But yeah, the same thing. Battle Pass, I hate logging in just to do dailies, maybe some challenges to get some XP. Why am I being limited by how much I can earn per day? What if I'm like the game and I want to play for hours? The game will cap your XP, make you earn less. By playing more, since they want you to play in small sessions, which is true. But it's just like, okay, once I'm done with my dailies, why can you not give me more dailies? No, it's like, just get free dailies, and that's it. Okay, but I want to keep playing. Well, tough shit. You just have to, basically, your XP gets cut by half. Okay, do you want to earn more? Well, you have to wait till tomorrow. But I want to keep playing. Well, screw you.
I like the way Fortnite does it, because they have dailies, they have weeklies, they have different challenges that you can earn XP to work through the Battle Pass. So They added a lot
But I
more.
feel like the same thing with Fortnite. I mean, yeah, because you even though you complete free dailies,
Yeah.
you can still do more and more dailies because they just keep popping up. Now,
Yeah.
yes, you get less XP because it's 1,000 XP, but for example, Overwatch, once you finish the free dailies, if you do another daily, you don't get anything.
Yeah, that sucks.
Which is like that's it. It's like, oh, yeah, I did another daily. Do I get something? No, not even like 10 XP. No, okay. And it's like, okay, well then, but okay, well that once you do the dailies in Overwatch, then that's over. It's like, what's my reason to keep playing? Gameplay? Well, I guess, but I'm not gonna get anything out of it. No, I guess why would I play when I can earn more tomorrow? Because I'm getting less. I could just save my time and just play more tomorrow. But see, I don't like that. Why can't you just give me more dailies? It's like, do you want me to keep playing your game or no? Just do free dailies to get out. It's like, it's stupid unless you do weeklies. But again, it's like, why am I being limited?
Yeah.
Anyways, let's keep going. I just say battle passes because they do cut the game time. It's just how it is. It's like, yeah, don't worry. Just do a little bit today, do a little bit more tomorrow. Don't worry about it. It's like, okay, but I have a lot of time today. What if I want to keep playing for hours because I don't have to go to work today? It's like, no, you get screwed. Okay, why do I have to play a certain weight or force to buy cool stuff if I want cosmetic? Why can't I earn it? Which is true. Like, for example, they don't add challenges. Let's say you get 500 kills with one gun. And then you get this amazing, cool gun mastercraft for this weapon. Or, it's a cool cosmetic. Or earn, 200 kills with this certain operator or skin. And you get like a super mythic skin. Good looking character, Or win 500 matches. And then, bam, you get this legendary gold camo, diamond camo for your character. It's like all that shit, you like it? Go spend $25 from the shop. I don't know about you, but you cannot earn it. But I want to play your game. No, shop time. Go shop. It's like, am I here playing Barbie doll dress up, where I have to buy things and then I can just play it, or can I earn it?
Yeah.
I'm not here to go shopping. If I want to go shopping, I'll go in real life, get myself a dress right now.
Why did you make this online free-to-play game? Money.
Yep. It's like, okay. And the worst part, it's too expensive for what you get. $70, and if it's not a single-player game, get ready to pay for more battle passes or cosmetic if you want them, which is true. Like Call of Duty, it's like $70, and then, okay, is that the full game? No, you want the bundles? 20, 10, 15. It's like, okay, it's the battle pass as well. It's like 10 more. It's like, it never ends. It's never good enough for them. And unless you're playing like a single-player game, like I said, then you get everything.
Yeah.
And sometimes you even have to be careful because then you have like expansion. Like if it's a story expansion where you get a whole lot of expansion, like for example, Iki Island, I'm willing to pay because it's a whole nother expansion. It's dialogue, it's content, it's character development, it's a whole nother island. I get it. If it's just cosmetic and I have to keep paying like actual money, if it's just maybe like one pack, like for example, Evil West.
Yeah.
Where GB is like, okay, I'll get the golden pack for like $3.
Yeah, it was just $3. I mean, I think it was, how much did I pay for that game again?
60.
Yeah, I paid 60, and once again, it's a really good game. It's
a single player game.
Yeah, it's Wild West, steampunk, vampires, monsters. It's a wonderful game. I loved it from start to finish. You can watch my playthrough if you want to check it out for yourself on my channel. But I enjoyed playing it so much that there was this free, like you're talking about, there was like this $3 pack where you could just get like these skins, outfit, like skins for your outfit, skin for your weapons. It was $3. So I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm enjoying this game so much, and I appreciate what the studio is doing. It's a smaller studio, so $3 means a lot more to them than these AAA multi-billion-dollar studios.
Yeah, you give those $3 to the studio that actually deserves it instead of like $20 to Activision.
I agree.
Anyways, let's keep going. And we already saw that. Okay. And the next topic, free-to-play, right? That's good, right? Yes and no. Your game basically gets cut in half, which is true. You only get the gameplay. So if you like the gameplay, it's like, okay, good. But you want cosmetics or to look cool or the emotes or everything that they release later, whatever they sell you, get ready to pay because you ain't earning that shit by playing. Which is true. You're not earning anything. Once you get the gameplay, that's it. Okay, but what's my reason to keep playing? The cosmetics? Well, can I earn it? Nope, you have to buy them. And it's like, okay, but why? Why if I put the time into your game, why can't I earn like free currency so I can buy it for free? You want me in your game, right? Like for example, you want players playing your game.
Yeah.
So give me a reason to play your game besides the gameplay, because once the gameplay gets boring, like for example, okay, well, I can't earn anything, so what's my reason to keep playing? It's like I buy it, is that cool? Okay, but can I earn anything? Because I mean, once I have everything, then what's the point? And then everybody just leaves. Is the reason I'm getting tired with Overwatch, because I can't earn anything. It's like everything's just okay, gameplay. But once I'm done with the gameplay, it's like, okay, can I earn something? Like maybe get like a certain skin if I get a little bit of kills. Maybe use this power up and kill somebody while you're in the air. Can I get something? No, you don't get anything. Well, okay, so what's my reason for playing? Kill time, I guess. Yeah. But I could do anything. What do I have to play your game? Give me a reason to see in your game. No, there's nothing. Okay, well, can you at least like a cool story? Nah, we delayed it till 2023. Don't worry. It's like, but the game came out. Yeah, but it came out unfinished. Don't worry about it. Just wait till 2023. It's like, wow. So what can I have in Overwatch then? One less player on each team. There you go. And oh yeah, don't forget to spend money in the shop. Don't forget. Right? Okay, enough of my rant. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So what have we learned? Looking at all these comments right here, what is something that we've learned?
That a growing number of people are fed up with how bad most modern games have gotten. Icarus was the only exception, but I'm of the opinion that everyone has a right to their opinion, and it's important for people to give their opinion, even if they don't share the same opinion that a growing majority do. So I do appreciate Icarus giving it a different perspective compared to almost everyone else, because everyone else that left a comment, we seem to be on the same page more or less.
It's just greed, crappy remasters,
Yeah.
out-of-touch developers, battle passes and online play and everything, subscriptions, and not earning anything.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, see, there would be like, the rest would be like 2 DLCs, so basically incomplete games, wait for the rest later, and free to play, and like having to spend extra money where back in the day you didn't have to spend money, you would just get everything.
And that's the problem, because our standards have been lowered.
And that's the thing. Well, me,
yeah.
I've been trying to hold back. That's what I've been doing other things.
Yeah.
Where I'm just not playing games as much. Because I just don't care. Like, everything they release is always unfinished, broken, and they don't care. And everything's like, okay, give me $20, buy this bundle. It's like, but I want to play your game. I don't want to buy your bundle. Okay, but can I earn something in your game? Maybe can I, if I get win 10 games and I get like maybe 500 currency to buy something in your bundle shop.
Well, here's an example of a free-to-play game, or at least 2, that you absolutely love, and you play them every day.
Who? What?
You know which 2?
Clash of Clans and Clash Royale.
Yeah. So you can do a free-to-play game right.
Right.
And I would say for the most part, Epic does a pretty good job with Fortnite, because there are sometimes occasions where you can get a free skin here and there. But yeah, obviously they're trying to make money. They make billions of dollars every year. But at least they offer, a lot of side stuff you can do, not just the battle royale.
Like, there's a lot in that game that you can earn.
Like,
so eventually you'll
go
get
into the creator mode. There's a lot of very interesting. Like we played the Backrooms a month ago, or a few months ago. It was you, me, and Kane. We had fun playing the Backrooms. There's been other times when we've jumped into the various Backrooms.
Like Fortnite is not only battle royale. There's a bunch of things you can do in Fortnite, which is cool.
Because Epic's actually encouraged their communities to broaden their horizons and to use their creative juices and their tools to make some really fun fan-made stuff.
And the best part is that if you play those fan-made games, you still get stuff for the battle pass. You still get XP.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to play battle royale, which is what I love. I like playing Save the World.
Yeah.
I like playing other fan modes. And not everything has to be battle royale, so they made so you can earn XP for the battle pass in those modes. Like, is it the same as battle royale? No, but you still get something.
I think the difference here that we're talking about, the big difference, is communication. The studio behind Clash of Clans and Clash Royale listen to their community.
That's true. They're passionate.
They interact. I've seen videos that you've been watching where they talk about updates. They're constantly telling people the roadmaps for their games, and Epic does the same thing. And Epic, for the most part, Epic does an okay job, except for that damn hammer of taking something out of the game when it's causing problems. It took them a quick minute for whatever reason to get the hammer out of the game. They finally vaulted it, but at least they for the most part, they try to balance the weapons in the game. They try to buff, nerf where they need to, and vault when they need to vault something.
Yeah. Unlike Rockstar, where it takes them like half a year.
It takes them forever to change, and it's not even enough. The quality of life changes they made in 2022.
No, it takes them forever just to add like one or two things.
Yeah.
And the same thing with like the rebalancing. Okay, we're gonna rebalance the vehicle. What have they rebalanced?
One.
The Oppressor Mark II. They lowered the missile tracking by like 5%. I don't fucking know the number, but they lowered the tracking. And okay, well, what about the rest? You have like other 500 vehicles. What about them?
Yeah.
Buy shark cards. Buy shark cards and GTA Plus.
They said they were going to rebalance PvP vehicles.
Yeah, they haven't done shit.
Plural, not just one vehicle. And like Gilly Master, he's done a good job
rebalancing.
Yeah, he goes into GTA 5 and he uses the same tools, I think, for the most part. And that the developers at Rockstar use for GTA Online, and they probably have more.
He's not even a developer.
No, and he's able to rebalance some vehicles and weapons and improve them, like the precision rifle, that piece of crap sniper rifle they released. That was back in
June.
Yeah, in June.
July.
A terrible sniper rifle, and they didn't even touch it for the Drug Wars update.
No, they didn't even touch it. And then Gilly just made I think he worked like a week or two or three on it, and then he fixed the shit out of it. It's like, is that so hard? You just can't get one person to do that.
Multi-billion-dollar studio with thousands of employees.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell?
If they had like at least one or two people assigned, like every week, we need you to go in and improve one vehicle, improve one weapon.
I don't know if it's too expensive or.
How can it be too expensive? I mean,
I don't fucking know.
Even if they had to get even if they hired Gilly contract, right? They offered him a contract fee and they said, okay, we're going to take your ideas and we're going to run with it. Here's a paycheck. Do you think Gilly Master would turn down that paycheck? Even if it was like, say, 1,000 or 10,000 or whatever, like they did with that one guy.
Yeah, who fixed the servers.
Yeah.
To make them run faster.
They cut that dude a paycheck. Just take all Gilly's videos where he's improved things or nerfed things or buffed things that need to be buffed or nerfed and run with it. And cut the man a paycheck. You make billions of dollars every year, Take-Two and Rockstar. You can fix your freaking game.
Yeah, like literally half of the vehicles in that game are useless.
Yeah.
Or more than half.
And it's sad because, look, I'm not the best at PvP, and I've kind of gotten out of my shell. I do a bit more PvP than I used to.
That's true.
But PvP would be way more fun in public lobbies, or in lobbies in general, friend lobbies with friends, or even against randos, if they would fix these issues.
Yeah,
and fix God mode, fix the orb cannon, remove the orb cannon completely, which needs to be done.
Yeah, Epic vaults things. Why can't you vault the overall cannon?
Yeah, vault the damn thing and reimburse people. Give people $900,000 that bought the damn thing. Sorry, we've discontinued the orb cannon, and here's $900,000 back.
Right.
The only ones that would cry about the removal of the orb cannon are the spammers.
Yeah, the griefers, the spammers.
Yeah, that's like maybe 1% of the community, and that's me being once again very generous.
Yeah, and then you have for example the Gamma Speedo, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just say it's peer, it cannot be fixed. Okay, then at least have like the back. You cannot get shot out of the back, right?
Yeah.
Update the model, open the windows, make sure we can shoot them out. Okay, so you have a problem with the servers, you cannot change the servers. Okay, update the model. You update the model for the Sterling GT because the windows are bulletproof.
Yeah.
So so make broken windows.
I mean that's a good example. Why did you go and quote-unquote fix the Sterling GT? It was bulletproof. Most people use the Sterling GT against NPCs in missions. But the God Mode Speedo was used against other players.
They don't care.
I don't get that. Why do they fix something that they screw up, and yet they don't fix everything else that's wrong?
I don't know. Pick and choose. They don't care.
Yeah.
I don't think they care. They don't care. They're just okay, update a thing or two, whatever.
Yeah, low effort. I mean, they had to have a ton of people complain about the broomstick over the years for them to do even what they did for the broomstick.
And how long did it take them? 5 years.
Yeah.
It took them 5 years to fix that shit.
And yet they tell us to send them feedback. They even said that in a previous.
They don't use that.
We're listening to your feedback. We're constantly improving the game and quality of life. Blah blah blah. Give us your feedback. We give you our feedback in videos and in comment sections and replies and even through the feedback page. And yet it just feels like you are moving slower than a snail when it comes to making improvements to your multi-billion-dollar online game.
Yeah, and another thing that kind of sucks about Rockstar is that, like I said, if you don't like a DLC or if the DLC just kind of sucks, get ready to wait at least 8 more months for the next thing.
Yeah, for the next recycled update that's going to have most of it locked behind drip feed into the fall
and
of
it's not
2023.
and it's not even guaranteed. You may get what you want. It's like, okay, well, you don't like it? Okay, we'll wait 8 years for a chance to maybe get what you want.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, can I get something besides cars because we already have like 600 of them? Okay, I would understand if they put those cars to the streets.
Yeah.
But if they're just in the images and then you just buy them and then like half the players don't even use them.
And that was one of the things that people were asking for with the PS5, Xbox Series versions is to update
the traffic. They won't do it. They won't do it.
The traffic is basically 2013 or 2014's GTA Online.
They don't care.
In 2023.
Yeah, like you have 10 years to update the traffic. You couldn't even change like 5 cars.
Yeah.
Nope. Well, that's it. It's just enough Rockstar rant because we're gonna keep going.
This wasn't just about Rockstar. It's about all these other games, and all these other studios, all these other publishers.
It's about modern gaming, not Rockstar Games rant. So we're gonna cut it short.
Yeah.
But
short for what, an hour plus.
Well, we rambled. We did. Like I was expecting this to be like 20 to 30 minutes, but we rambled and shit happens. That's the only thing I can say. Shit happens. It's just we go from discussion to rant.
Yeah.
I mean, can you blame us?
No.
It's just, I'm sorry, guys. It's just I expected it to be shorter, but yeah. Thank you very much for watching. An hour long and a few more minutes. It was long, but. Yeah, thank you everybody for watching. I really appreciate everybody that stuck around, or even just watched the video for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Or maybe they took breaks. They watched 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. But we do appreciate all of you for taking the time to hang out with Riley and me and watch this video. And everyone that left comments, we also thank you as well.
I really appreciate you guys for sticking around, even if it's just like at the beginning of the video or the final little bit. If you're just watching it from time to time. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. GB, thank you for being here. And,
my pleasure.
If I need you, I'll just yell at you from halfway across the room.
All right, right beside me.
Yeah.
When we're watching Kitchen Nightmares.
Yeah, I'm right beside you. I'll hit you up. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you.
But if you guys want to go check out GB, his channel will be in the pinned comment or in the description.
Thank you.
One or the other. So go check him out.
And our vlogs channel.
And our vlogs channel. We also do that.
Yes, we do.
We're together. We're not gonna have a quick video on that channel for like until the end.
Yeah, end of the month we'll have January 2023.
Yeah, like at the very end of January.
Hopefully.
Yeah, and that we usually discuss how we're doing with our lives and.
But we do have the December 2022 vlog. Go check it out.
Go check it out. Yeah, if you guys want to see how we did in 2022, which in
spoiler
bad. We were sick.
We had a bad December.
So if you guys want to get a Riley and GB cough edition, where it's just coughing and sneezing and everything and dying, go check that video out.
While playing Flight Sim, like in the B-roll with you flying around and Flight Sim here.
But yeah, that's enough for it. Like I said, we're rambling again, and we are just doing the same thing. But yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video or live stream. Bye-bye.